Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for Ready to Love Last Resort, the reunion part 1. So I apologize in advance because I have not been available. I wanted to continuously do some more uploads, and I have not been feeling the greatest. Starting yesterday, I still don't feel that great, but it's a little bit better than I've been feeling, so I'm glad. So I'm trying to push through this, and I think that's going to be it for me because I'm not going to be able to do the other stuff I wanted to do. So anyway, I saw the previews, and so I'm looking like, okay, who pregnant though? So at least they went on ahead and started it off with that. Alicia is the person who we find out is pregnant. For those of y'all who have forgotten who Alicia is, she's the one who came on and she was like, I want a man who got all this money. And, she, at the end, she acted as if she was here for Brian. And Brian is the guy who talks in circles, riddles, and everything else and don't listen to nobody except himself, even when you are having a serious moment with him. And he ghosted her and made it seem like he was going to come back to her room after freshening up, possibly taking a shower, when he in reality went to Alex's room and went and kissed her and did the most. So yeah, she's the person who's pregnant. And of course, everybody want to know who the baby daddy is. Is it anybody that's on the show? And she said no. And it's by a successful person, and that she's found love outside of this TV show. So if that's true, if that's really what it is, congratulations, girl. Okay, so they went further into detail as far as how everything was going with Alicia and Brian when they were on the show. And they actually brought Alex into it. And, they kind of did a little recap of what was going on as far as what we saw throughout the season with all of that. And they wanted to know if he was going to talk in riddles and circles and everything else too, and are hopeful that he's not going to do that on this reunion. But anyway, they wanted to know what was going on and had he and Alex spoken since the show, and they both said yes. And she was like, she found some stuff out that was alleged information. And everybody was like, okay, what was the information? And she said that she found out that he allegedly had a child on the way. Well, he tried to speak all around it, but then eventually said it was fake news. And I don't know. See, the way he speaks, he just comes off like he lying or it's a half truth or something. And I ain't here for it. So anyway, whatever. I can't do it. I cannot. I can't do it. I can't do it. I was so glad when he finally was gone because he never would listen. And I was glad that they brought up again the fact that he does not listen. You'll try to be serious with him and he'll do everything except listen to what you were saying, and he'll make a joke out of everything. And it's like, did you just hear this person tell you that they were just abused? And they were literally opening up to you, and this is what you're saying? It's like you're listening to nothing. So I'm glad they brought that up, but he gonna try to make it seem like, oh well, if there's an understanding that's happening, then and I was just like, hey, no, what misunderstanding are you talking about? Even Alex was like, what are you talking about? Like, I took it upon myself to let my guard down and tell you something that was very, very traumatic that happened to me. And that's not what happened. It wasn't a misunderstanding. But he really, it's like he if it's not what he believes it to be, it's just not what it is. And I'm just like, okay, so they brought up the situation that happened between Simone, Joy, and Winter. Back when, Joy, of course, was Jay's top. Well, at least that's what we thought. I don't even remember. I'm like, when did this even happen? So apparently, Jay said that Simone was his top. And I'm guessing that that was just something that he was just saying to her. I mean, because every time we looked up, we saw him with Joy, and Joy seemed to be his number one. But she was like, well, he's making it out to make me look like I'm his dirty little secret, and he only wants to deal with me in secret, and he'll tell me one thing, but then he telling y'all something else. So then when they had the powwow or whatever you want to say, what the heifer said, Jackie Christie said Ponderosa. After they had a Ponderosa, and she brought up all this stuff, they had never before seen footage of Winter saying that she needed a moment, and she was outside and she was crying into Jade's chest, and she was just like, I'm okay. And she went off by herself, because it's like Simone was making it out to be a situation where maybe Winter was allowing some, underhanded, freaky, nasty kind of stuff go down, because he went into her room with no shirt on. And in my opinion, when she first said something about him going into her room without a shirt on, I was like, isn't it summertime in Texas? Have you ever been to Texas in the summertime? It's 100 and something degrees. Y'all, if you ain't never been to Texas in the summertime, oh, child, it's hot. So my thing is, I don't expect nobody who already had a shirt off to be like, let me run go get a shirt real quick before I go into your room, and then I'll meet you there. I don't expect nobody to go throw a shirt on. They was in the middle of working out, or it's hot and they just came from where they was at doing what they was doing, and they catch me and want to talk to me for a few minutes in private, and it just so happens to be in their room where the only privacy is, then okay, that's what it's gonna be. I don't understand. But anyway, in all honesty, I just feel like I did before, that Simone was just stirring the pot. Wasn't nobody checking for her. I don't know why Jay tried to make it seem like she was his top, and I was just like, I'm confused, because like I was saying the whole season before she left, it just seems like whenever the weeks would come where the men had to make the decision as to whether or not certain women were going to stay or leave, that's when she would all of a sudden be like, ooh, let me find somebody to latch on to so I can hopefully stay a little bit longer, because I'm like, you don't do, like, we don't see you do nothing. Even when it came to certain tasks, she was not available, or whoever that was supposed to be there was not available. They didn't show up, or whatever happened. And I'm just like, why are you here? I honestly did not feel like she was there for love. I didn't see it. I couldn't tell that she was there for love. I felt like she was there for somebody who was gonna add to her financial situation, because it's like, you do well enough on your own. Just say that you looking for a man that's gonna give you some money, and a couple of other extras from time to time, and that's it. I just don't understand. But anyway, Simone and Joy got into it, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't. They just sat up here and got into it on the reunion. Winter kind of interjected, because it was about her. It was her situation, because you trying to make her out to, she kind of felt like you were trying to make her out to look a certain way, and ain't nobody got time, because she's not that type of person. So, man, her and Joy got into it at the end. Like, when Simone was talking, since she's sitting next to Jay on the reunion, she had that resting you-know-what face on. It was just there. He kept trying to tell her to relax her face, and she said, I can't do that. Like, you can't. Like, when somebody has tried you, see, I'm the type of person that if you've tried me, I can't. And you come around me, like, my mood can be completely me, which is normally I'm really happy. People love my energy and all of that. I rub off on people in a good way. But if the wrong person come around me who's tried me, I try not to let it get to me. But if it's something fresh that they've done to me, I can't help it. You can just see through me. Like, I'm not good at, I don't have that great of a poker face when it comes to certain things. But I really try not to let stuff get to me at all. But some people really will try you, and it's just like, man, man, I ain't got time. But they got to the end of it, and Simone was about to go and cry on the side of the stage. And then Joy was like, man, y'all need to give her an Oscar or some kind of award after this show over. And then she tried to say that she was joking. I was like, girl, you were serious. And I was laughing. So, but she was like, can I give you a hug? And she ended up giving her a hug. And I was just like, okay, whatever. So they are now talking about David. And David is I think he was the chemical operator. I think he was the one who liked to dance and all that stuff. But anyway, he was the one who put his finger in Joy's face when they were going back and forth. And when he went out on a date with Alicia, she wanted to know how he would be if he were to get with her, because she had at the time 2 small kids and now she has one on the way. But anyway, and his response was, I don't understand what they got to do with me. Them your kids, not mine. Why would I have to take care of them, you and me, and all these bills when they got their own daddy? And everybody was done with him after he said that. But he gonna get on here and try to make it seem like that's not what I meant. What I meant was, if I was in a relationship with you and I knew your children and I got to know your children and I knew you a lot better, and we were at that point where we really were together, then and only then is when I would be providing financially. And he tried to make it seem like it was a misunderstanding, and Alicia was like, oh, well, I understand. No, I was speaking in terms of we actually have made it to that point where we are a thing. And I'm just like, I feel like he said what he said and he meant what he said. I really feel like it wasn't no misunderstanding then, and he is just trying to clean it up right now. Apparently he's been getting all kinds of love on social media. He has not made a connection on social media, but he did go and visit Alicia, I guess, to kind of talk things over, and they cool or whatever now. And he has hung out with Alex outside of the show, and they were hanging out as friends. And Tommy wanted to know if he actually had interest in her, and he was like, yeah. And so he was like, I need you to be, very, open about what it really is. Like, y'all, you talking about y'all friends, but if you friends, that's completely different in you being interested in her. So he turned to her and was like, I am interested in you. This is the perfect place for me to do this. I am interested, and I want to know, what you think about that or whatever. And so she was like, I'm cool with that. We can go out on a date. And they hugged, and I was like, okay. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about him, y'all. I don't know. So I guess they had a little break, and they showed Alex and David behind the scenes off by themselves. And she was like, okay, so when we gonna go out on this little date and all that? Where we going? And he was like, you know what? You let me know when your availability is, and, we can set up some stuff. And so he was talking about golf carts. I was like, okay. Oh, okay. I don't know. I guess because I'm leaning more towards old school. I'm like, what that supposed to be doing? I don't understand. I don't know. Y'all let me know down in the comment section if going and being in golf carts is supposed to be fun or something. I don't understand. I thought that was, see, I'm from the country, and a lot of people in the community that I lived in, if you had a golf cart, that was because it was a necessity, because you had property and you needed to get around on the property, and it's easier to get from point A to point B and carry stuff at the same time. I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on here. I don't understand. But anyway, she act like she here for it, so I would love to know what the update would be on them. Now we're moving on to Anthony. And first of all, before it gets away from me, because I don't want to forget to say this, I have to say this. First and foremost, Winter, girl, you was wearing that dress. Winter's wearing that dress. You can't tell me Winter was not wearing that dress. Lord have mercy. Yes, you better wear that dress. Makeup was everything. Hair is laid. I'm just like, girl, yes. Like, I'm not understanding why the men were not clamoring to just try to get a chance to even speak to you. Everybody trying to make you the second choice. I'm just like, what? The whole time, I'm just like, what is wrong with y'all? That's just the looks. Her personality, every time she would speak and every time she would, just express herself, I was here for it. And I'm like, why are y'all picking up on this? But anyway, y'all. So anyway, back to Anthony. So at the time, when they were finally rounding everything out, we already know that he had it in his mind that old girl and Winter were, his two. And I'm just like, oh, okay. And y'all already know that was only the case because Calfani was done with her. I don't know why I can't think of her name at the moment. It'll come to me. But anyway, so an update on Winter and Anthony. They had a hiccup in their communication as far as their relationship is concerned, and they stopped talking to each other. And the problem was something about finances, and he got triggered. He raised his voice or was talking to her some kind of way. And see, Winter is like me. I shut down when you talk crazy to me. You raise your voice and all that. Your tone is not right. I'm done. I ain't got time. I don't like it. I don't want to feel attacked. And he was like, in the past, he wasn't really talking about his finances like that. And so he felt triggered and he raised his voice. And, I was like, raised up. She said the way he raised up or something she said. I was like, raised up. Ooh, I was about to go through the screen. I thought she was saying something like he had almost backhanded her or something. And she was like, well, we not fit to do with this. But yeah, he like raised his voice and something about the finances. But they are working on things now. They only started back talking not too long ago because they actually ran into each other. She said that she is willing to listen to him, which she was not willing to do before. And they're going to see where things go. So we're wishing them nothing but the best. I don't know. I'm just like, woo, child, what is going on with Denise? I couldn't think of her name for that. And I told y'all it was going to come to me. But yeah, Denise was the other person. But yeah, we're going to see where their relationship goes. So we go into Joy and Jay's flourishing situation on the show before she left. And, they wanted to know how things were as far as, her connection with Jay and Edwin. Now, she made it clear that she did like both of them, but she had a deeper connection with Jay. But at the same time, I'm like, I feel like you're kind of contradicting yourself, because if Edwin was putting in more work and showing and proving, why would you say that? And he's wrote the most romantic out of both of them. Like, you could tell how into him she was. How is it that you then say, okay, well, Jay is my number one and he needs to work on the romance, but we had these deeper conversations? I'm wondering if she was saying that because with Edwin, it was just a lot that was surrounding his PTSD. I feel like that might have had a lot to do with her somewhat resistance to allowing herself to go deeper with him. So then we go deeper into the situation with Winter and Jay, and everybody was not aware of how deep it was really going. we the viewers didn't even know how deep it was going, because they legit had a connection. And it was to the point where Joy was like, he would tell me how dope Winter was, but I didn't realize how deep and true it was until I saw it unfold right now. And it was never before seen footage yet again, where we saw Winter and Jay in the middle of the night. They would go and talk, and like they literally would show him go, and then a few minutes later she would go up the hall behind him. And so they would go outside and talk and go wherever and talk. And sometimes, like, it seemed like they would leave at 1 something and wouldn't come back until almost 4 a.m. Gone, talking, bonding, all of this. And after they showed the footage, Winter said what she said, because everybody, like I told y'all, I could not stand how everybody was just treating her like she was just second best. And she was just like, looking back on it, I don't know if I would have held on to my connection to him as long as I did, because I didn't want to come off as like this side heifer, this side hoe, as she said. And it was just to the point where Jay was trying to make it seem like, well, I made my stance when I left to be with Joy. And she was like, well, I mean, you told me that you basically were kind of struggling to figure out whether or not you really wanted to stay here or if you were going to be with her. And it was just to the point where Joy was like, oh, I want to hear what Winter has to say. Because he was like, no. Me and Joy had a conversation, and I was going to go and be with her, and I made my intentions known. Y'all, Winter was just like, okay. Yeah, okay. She matches my energy. Like, I'm the type of, I'm not going to argue with, I don't have time. My thing is, with my last relationship, that was the first and only person that I've been with that I wanted to prove myself so much to this person. I wanted to be with this person so much that I was willing to argue with them, to argue my point, to be heard, because that was the first time I had somebody who was always they were just so loud with what they would say. And it's like, I never felt like I was being heard. So I felt like I had to argue with this person. But I'm usually the type of person where I'm not going to argue with you. Okay. Oh, okay. And I'm going to give you a big old smile and a nod. Okay. And that's exactly what she did. That's that energy she gave. And even Tommy knew what that meant. But somebody just like, oh, okay. That's exactly what she did. Ain't nobody got time. I feel like he is kind of trying to save face because he's sitting next to Joy. And they supposed to be, well, I don't know if they're together or not, because I feel like in a few minutes we gonna find out something might be going on or not going on with them. But let's see, because it's about to come on. So, they had to take a moment to discuss what happened with Joy and her sister. Her sister passed away and her journey on the show ended. So, I don't remember this part happening. I don't know if I left the room or if it was never before seen footage, but apparently Denise sat up there and delivered a message while everybody else was finding out that this happened, to say that all of these men individually, she was saying that y'all need to go forward in this journey and find love and all this other stuff. Like, she made it seem like Joy passed the message on to her to tell them. And I was like, huh? And like, they had the camera panned on her, how they do a picture showing then and now. And I was like, that don't even sound right. I don't know why. It didn't sit well with me. Y'all, after everything was said and done, everybody went around the room and was like, okay, well, I felt this way when this happened. Of course, nobody was, everybody was, of course, like really sad for her and upset that happened. And they definitely talked to Edwin about it, because he was very, very into her. And he said that when that happened to her, he felt like he immediately took on those feelings because he really cared about her. And that's why he didn't feel like he could go on, because he would be lying to himself, and nobody wants to go through this faking it, especially when the person that you live for ain't even gonna be there. Maybe he thought, I kind of feel like Edwin thought that maybe there would be a turn of events and Joy would see the light and understand that he is the man for her. But he ended up leaving because there really was no reason for him to be there. Nobody else was interested in him at that point, and there really wouldn't have been a reason for him to stay. So I don't blame him for leaving. We are not going to find out until next week as to whether or not everything is still on the up and up with Jay and Joy. I kind of think that something might be going on because their body language was not that of a couple. I don't know. Or it might be like, kind of whatever. But I don't know. And definitely we're going to find out about Calfani and, why I can't think of her name. I know it starts with A. I don't know why I can't think of her name, but yeah, Calfani and old girl. But yeah, y'all, it's a mess. But Joy had to set the record straight and was like, I did not say that crafted message. Like, where would I find the time to say that? I was like, that's right. That don't even make no sense. Ain't nobody gonna sit up there and tell everybody. Like, she literally could not even hardly speak when it came to her sister. Why would she sit up there and say anything about these people? Like, that didn't even make no sense. Lord. Denise tried to explain herself, was like, well, I felt like she needed a voice. I felt like I was speaking for her through me. And everybody was just like, but she didn't say none of this though. Like, everybody was done. I was like, I don't blame y'all, because I've been tired of my spirit too. Like, girl, you really tried it. So then, after all of that was said and done, you know, since we're going to be on pause until next week, everybody went to like their individual places where they were going to talk. And the guys were like, man, I think that was foul. How Denise did that would make no sense. And everybody was saying that she seems to be the narcissistic person, especially Rashid. Because, you know, earlier in the season, she said that he was the one who gave off those tendencies. And, yeah. She was in another room trying to convince everybody that she had no ill will. And, you know, she just felt like it was something that needed to be done. And I'm just like, girl, you had no right, though. And, like, the dudes were like, I don't even understand. If anybody, you would think Jay would say something on her behalf. Why? And then everybody was just like, I didn't even think that was cool like that. For her to even speak of her, speak and pass on a message like that, y'all. But anyway, I can't wait till next week to see what's going to happen. I don't feel that well, y'all. I am about to just pass out right now. Anyway, y'all, pray for me. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this recap review. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all have a good one. Bye.